Hi everybody, we're on week 7 of our online classes and today we're going to be starting with our pranayama, as usual, our breathing exercises. So please find yourself a comfortable seated position. You can be kneeling or cross-legged, sit up on some cushions or some blocks, or sit up against the wall. The important thing is to have your shoulders above your hips and the front of your body is easy and open, so that breathing can be comfortable. So move around at any time you feel you need to. If you ever find yourself beginning to fall off the back of your sitting bones and your chest begins to lower, simply sit yourself back up again. Think about your spine staying comfortably straight and your shoulders away from your ears. Like I say, sitting up on a block can help. So once you're comfortable, for a few moments, just sit still and have your eyes closed. Begin to become aware of your breathing. So you may notice the rate of the breath, the depth of the breath, and immediately notice whether the breath changes because you're paying attention. And simply observe what happens. Any other thoughts that come to your mind, just let them float away. Bring your awareness back to your breathing. It's quite normal for the mind to want to wander and find other things to do. But for now, we want to think about the breathing. So breathing in and out through the nose. Perhaps noticing the air at the tip of the nose. Noticing any sounds as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Noticing any movements in the body with each breath. Now beginning to deepen the breath a little. Imagine a place about an inch behind your navel, behind your belly button. And imagine that you could take your breath to that place. So directing the breath deep down inside your body, just behind your belly button. And as you breathe out, imagine the breath leaving all the way down from that place, deep inside your body, until your lungs are completely empty from the top. Beginning to feel the lungs from the bottom, and then the middle, and then the top, so filling them with air as you would fill a jug of water. And then fully emptying the lungs from the bottom and then the middle and then the top, as if you were squeezing the air out. Good. And now I'd like you to place just one hand on your collarbones. You can make an L shape with your thumb and your index finger and the rest of your fingers. And just place that L shape over your collarbone, so the thumb is over your right collarbone or your left, and your index finger and the rest of your fingers are over the opposite collarbone. And just gently place your hand on your upper chest here, and then breathing in and breathing out, being completely aware of the chest and the air beneath your hand. Noticing any movements underneath your hand. So upper chest breathing, breathing into your hand. And this is known as pranayama. Upper chest breathing. So we're breathing into the front of the upper chest because we have our hand here and that helps us to focus on that area. If you'd like to release your hand now and continue to breathe into your upper chest, but consider your upper chest as being a cross-section through your body. So as you breathe in, thinking about the whole of the upper chest in breath, so front, sides, back, and all the way through the middle. Anytime you need to replace your hand onto your upper chest, if it helps to focus, no, that's fine. Breathing in and out into your upper chest. Good. And now we're going to begin to rotate the breath around the body. So as you breathe in, we're going to think front of the upper chest, sides of the upper chest, and back of the upper chest. And as you breathe out, thinking back, sides, front. So the awareness always in the upper chest, front, sides, back as you breathe in, and back, sides, front as you breathe out. Continuing to breathe in that way. Adhyam pranayama, front, sides, back as you breathe in, back, sides, front as you breathe out. If you're comfortable with the flow of the breath, then replace the words front, sides, back with a count of 6, 6. So we're going to continue to rotate the awareness around the body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. But we're going to be counting 1, 2 in the front, 3, 4 in the sides, 5, 6 in the back, and then 1, 2 in the back, 3, 4 in the sides, 5, 6 at the front. So breathing in for 6 and breathing out for 6. The awareness rotating around the upper chest as you breathe in and then back around as you breathe out. If you lose your way or lose your count at any time, just start again from the beginning. Breathing in for 6, breathing out for 6, upper chest, breathing. Circling the awareness from the front to the sides to the back as you breathe in, and from the back to the sides to the front as you breathe out. after the next out breath, release the control of the breath, keeping your eyes closed, and keep your awareness with the breath, but allow the breath now to flow naturally. So the breath flows wherever it naturally flows. No control, simply observation. So observing now where your breath naturally flows, observing the rate of the breath, the depth of the breath once more. And inwardly ask yourself if there are any changes from when you started the practice. Good. Gently opening your eyes and taking a stretch out in any way that feels good for you. If you haven't already, then please grab yourself a belt. So you can use a yoga belt if you have one, you can use a tie, or you can use a dressing gown belt, anything that comes to hand. And then have your belt by your sides. We're not going to use it straight away, but I'd like you to have it handy. And then bring yourselves onto your backs. So lying on your backs with your belt handy by your sides, starting off with both knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor, and then adjust your body against the mat. So tuck your tailbone under so the lower back comes a little closer to the mat, adjust the shoulder blades so they're comfortable, create length in the back of the neck. Good. The hands can be resting down by your sides. So we're going to work with, beginning to work the leg muscles on the breath. So thinking about your right leg first of all, as you breathe in, draw the knee to the chest. And as you breathe out, extend the heel up towards the ceiling, straightening the leg out as much as you can. Breathing in, draw the knee back to the chest, the heel comes down to your butt, and take the foot to the floor again. And then go to the left, breathing in, draw the knee to the chest. Breathing out, extend the heel away, flex the toes back towards you. Breathing in, knee to chest. Breathing out, foot to the floor. Breathing in, right again, knee to chest. Breathing out, extend the leg, opening up the back of the knee. Breathing in, back to chest, and breathing out, foot to the floor. And to the left, breathing in, knee to chest. Breathing out, heel up to the ceiling, flex the toes towards your face. Breathing in, bend the knee. Breathing out, place the foot on the floor. So continue to do that on your own breath now. If you want to, when you come back towards the floor with your foot, you can extend the leg all the way down the mat so the leg is extended down and the heel's down, and then go to the left and do the same with the left on your own breath now. Each time you breathe in, see if you can draw that knee a little closer into the chest. Each time you breathe out, perhaps those toes draw a little bit closer to your face. One last round, so one more round with the right leg, one more round with the left leg. And the next time you come up with the right leg, bend the knee into the chest, breathe out, extend the heel up towards the ceiling, and then pause here. Keep the heel pushing actively towards the ceiling, keep the toes flexed towards your face. The left leg is active along the mat with the toes pointing to the ceiling. Without using your hands, they're still resting by your sides. We're going to pulse the toes towards the face 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And bend the knee and extend the leg along the mat. Draw the left knee into the chest, Breathing out, extend the heel up towards the ceiling and hold. The right leg is active along the mat, toes pointing to the ceiling. The left heel is pushing up to the ceiling, toes flexing back towards your face. And pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee and take the leg out on the mat. Now take hold of your belts. Bend the right knee into the chest, wrap the belt around the ball of the right foot, and then extend that leg away. So you're reaching up with both hands. If your arms are bent, reach up the belt a little higher towards your foot so the arms can be straight and the arms and the shoulders are hanging off of the foot. Keeping that leg as straight as you can, keep the heel pointing to the ceiling, toes back towards your face. If you can reach your big toe, then go ahead and reach your big toe, otherwise holding onto the belt. Good. Just feeling this stretch down the back of the leg beginning to ease as you breathe into the back of the leg. And perhaps as you breathe out, you can draw the toes a little closer towards your face. Keep the heel extending away, keep the back of the knee open. And then take your left hand out, your left arm out to the side and look towards your left hand. Keeping your left hip glued to the mat, we're going to slowly take the right leg out to the side. Keeping the right arm in line with the shoulder. Pausing with the leg as soon as you find that left hip becoming light. And breathe into those inner thigh muscles. And pausing here. Looking back up towards the ceiling, activating the leg muscles to draw the leg back up. If you need to bend the knee to do that, that's fine. Release the toe or release the belt. Bend that right leg and take it back to the floor. Bend your left knee now into the chest. If you're using the belt, wrap the belt around the ball of the foot and then extend the leg away. Pushing the heel up towards the ceiling and holding the belt as close to your foot as you can reach, so the arms are straight and the shoulders are sinking back towards the floor, back of the neck still long. Good. Let's just pause here for a few breaths to allow the hamstrings to open. Breathing into the backs of the legs, and perhaps as you breathe out, you can bring the toes a little bit closer towards your face. If you want to grab the toe, as long as you can keep the legs straight, that's absolutely fine. If you're holding the belt, transfer both ends of the belt into the left hand. Take the right arm out to the side, palm face up, and look towards your right hand. The right hip stays glued to the mat as you slowly begin to lower the left leg out to the side. And pausing when you feel you're going to capsize, so keeping that right hip glued to the mat. Keep looking towards your right hand, breathing in to the inner thigh muscles of that left leg. While you're here, I'd like you just to pay attention to the angle that your leg makes with your hips. For most of us, the leg isn't going to be flat on the floor. There will be a slight gap between the floor and your leg. And I'd like you just to take a mental note that your hips are flat against the floor. So both hips bones are pointing up to the ceiling, and notice whereabouts your leg is in relative position to your hips. And breathing in, drawing that leg back up, bending the knee if that helps, releasing the belt, releasing the toe, and giving both legs a bit of a shake out. Good. Draw the knees up to your chest, cross the ankles, reach up and hold your feet. Get a really good grip on your tops of your feet. Draw your feet towards you, rounding your back, and then rolling into a seated position. And from your seated position, place your hands in front of your feet. Lift the hips off of the floor, push into your hands, lift the feet up, uncross the legs, take the hands to the hips, breathing in and coming into your standing position. Come into Tadasana at the fronts of your mats. We're going to work with our Surya Namaskar sequence. As usual, I'll guide you through 3 Surya Namaskar A's and give you the choice to do 2 more Surya Namaskar A's, or if you want to, you can join me and do 2 Surya Namaskar B's. So first of all, bringing yourselves into Tadasana, mountain pose. Just taking a couple of rocks backwards and forwards, your heels and then your toes, heels, toes, and then come into that middle ground. Come into a position where there is least effort to hold the body up. Drawing gently the belly button into the spine, a gentle rolling down with the tailbone. Lift up the upper chest, roll the shoulders away from the ears. And begin to focus on your breathing. Take your hands to prayer position at the heart center. Let's breathe in together and breathe out together. On the next in-breath, lower the hands, lift them up to the sky, follow the hands with the gaze, if that's okay, the neck. And as you breathe out, taking the hands all the way to the floor, feel free to have a wriggle when you get here. Breathing in, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze. And as you breathe out, draw the belly in, push into the hands and lower into plank or chaturanga dandasana. Breathing in, scoop forwards with the chest. It's fine to take the knees and the hips down. Come into cobra, otherwise lifting into upward facing dog. Breathing out, lower back into chaturanga. Push the weight up, back into downward facing dog. Breathing in for 1. And breathing out for 1, adjust the hands and the feet. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2, you want to spread the fingers. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3, pushing down into the index finger. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4, gently pushing the floor away with your hands. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, come up onto the toes, look towards your hands, create space under your body, and jump or step the feet back to your hands. Then take your in-breath, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and breathing out, folding into your forward fold. Allow the neck to be long. As you breathe in, coming all the way up, leading with the heart, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Breathing out, draw the hands back to prayer position. Number 2, breathing in, lifting up with the heart, and breathing out, taking the hands to the floor. It's fine to soften the knees. Breathing in, lift the gaze, draw the belly in, and breathing out, jumping or stepping into plank or chaturanga, elbows bent and squeezed into your sides. Breathing in, lifting with the heart, pushing the chest through the arms. And then breathing out, back into downward facing dog. Breathing in here for 1. And breathing out for 1, allowing the armpits to soften to the floor. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2, wrapping the triceps around to your ears. Breathing in for 3. And breathing out for 3, then drawing the shoulders down your spine. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4, the neck is long and loose. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, come up high onto the tippy toes, look forward towards your hands and jump or step forwards. Breathing in, create length in the body. Breathing out, keep that length with you, tailbone stays high as you fold into Uttanasana. Breathing in, coming all the way up, lifting the fingertips to the sky, and breathing out, taking them back to your heart center. Number 3, breathing in, scooping up, lifting, extending. Breathing out, folding, softening, allowing the head to hang. Breathing in, lifting, creating length, and then drawing the belly in. Breathing out, jumping or stepping back, plank or chaturanga, keep the hands strong. Breathing in, push through the ball of the index finger as you lift away from the floor. Breathing out, back to chaturanga if you're feeling strong. Push the arms up into downward facing dog. Breathing in for 1. And breathing out for 1, lifting the tailbone to the sky. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2, feeling the energy down the backs of the legs. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3, pushing the heels back and down. Breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Feel as though you're pushing through the hands and through the heels. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, come up onto your toes, your shoulders start to move forward, and then you step towards your hands. Breathing in, lift away from the legs, create length. Breathing out, folding down into your forward fold. Breathing in, coming all the way up. And breathing out, take it back to your heart center. So up to another 2 Surya Namaskar A's. If you want to work with me through Surya Namaskar B, then please do. The next time we breathe in, we're going to bend the knees, lift the hands, Utkatasana. Breathing out, folding forward into forward fold. Breathing in, lifting the heart. Breathing out, jumping or stepping back, plank or chaturanga. Breathing in, scooping forwards and up and out with the chest. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Breathing in, right leg comes forward between the hands, coming up into Virabhadrasana 1. Breathing out, placing the hands back down, plank or chaturanga. Breathing in, lifting upward facing dog. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Next in-breath, the left foot comes towards the hands. Breathing in, Virabhadrasana 1, the back heel stays down. Breathing out, back into plank or chaturanga. Breathing in, scooping forwards, pushing through the hands, lifting with the heart. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Breathing in for 1. Breathing out for 1. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2. Breathing in for 3. And out for 3. Breathing in for 4. And out for 4. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, come up onto the toes, look forwards and jump or step the feet back towards the hands. Breathing in, create length in the body. Breathing out, forward fold, Uttanasana. When you breathe in, we're going to bend the knees deeply. Take the hands to prayer position, lift them up, chest lifting, knees stay bent. Then breathing out, back to Tadasana. Last one, breathing in, bend the knees, lift the hands, Utkatasana, mighty pose. Breathing out to Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing in, lift the heart, lift the chest. Breathing out, jumping or stepping back, plank or chaturanga. Breathing in, upward facing dog or cobra. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Position the left foot, step the right foot in front. Breathing in, Virabhadrasana 1. Breathing out, plank. Breathing in, upward facing dog. And breathing out, downward facing dog. Position the right foot, and as you breathe in, step the left one between your hands. Breathing in, Virabhadrasana 1. Breathing out, plank or chaturanga, squeeze the elbows. Breathing in, upward facing dog. Breathing out, downward facing dog. 5 well-deserved breaths here. And on the 5th out breath, up onto the toes, look towards your hands, scoop your belly in, jumping or stepping forwards. Breathing in, creating length in the body, keep the tailbone high. Breathing out, tailbone stays high as you forward fold. Bend the knees deeply. Lift the upper chest, lift the hands in prayer position, Utkatasana. Breathing out, back into Tadasana, hands in prayer position. Pausing here, allowing your breath to settle. Sealing in that energy, that warmth, that space. Good, coming to the middle of your mats. If you needed a belt for when we were doing our laying down stretches earlier, you'll need a belt for the standing posture. We're going to come into a balance, which will be the same posture as we did laying down with the leg out to the side, but we're going to do it standing up. If you want to go next to a wall, please feel free to go next to a wall if that will help your balance. Coming into Tadasana, the start and finish of all of our yoga postures. Feel free to rock backwards and forwards a couple of times so that you can feel grounded through the feet. Find that central point where there's minimal effort to keep you upright. We're going to start with the right leg. So if you're going to the wall, have your left hand to the wall. Lift your right knee up. If you're using a belt, then wrap the belt around the ball of the foot and hold both ends of the belt with the right hand on the inside of the leg. If you don't need a belt, just grab hold of your toe. Good. Your left hand can be either on your hip or out to the side, whichever works better for your balance. Lifting the knee nice and high, hold the belt as close to the foot as you did when you were laying down, and then extend the leg out in front of you. Lift the toes up, push the heel away. Your gaze is towards your big toe. Find your balance, and when you're ready, slowly beginning to take that right leg out to the side. Both hips are going to stay pointing forwards as we open up the right hip and the inner thigh out to the sides. You can gaze over your left shoulder, and then very slowly drawing the leg back into the centre. Gaze towards your big toe once more, or on something still that doesn't move. If you're using the belt, swap hands. So the left hand's going to hold the belt, the right hand's going to come to your hip. If you're not using the belt, hold the outside of the foot with your left hand. And then we're going to draw the leg across the body. Right hand's going to come out to the side to help you balance. Bring the leg back to the centre, swapping hands once more, and then releasing the foot down, releasing the belt. Good. Shaking the legs out if that feels nice. Coming back into Tadasana. Once again, if you're using the belt, use the belt. If you're happy just to grab the toe, then grab the toe. So lifting the left knee up, either wrapping the belt around the ball of the foot or holding onto the big toe. Aiming to keep a lift in your upper chest, so avoid the temptation to hold your toe if it means you're kind of sinking down. Only hold your toe if you know you can keep the chest lifted. Good. If you're comfortable with your balance, begin to lengthen the leg out. Heel pushing away, toes drawing back towards your face. Drishti, your gaze point on something still, as you gently begin to open that leg out to the side. Both hips facing forward, so the standing knee is safe. If your balance is good, you can look over your right shoulder. And slowly drawing the leg back to the centre. Pausing for a breath. Swapping hands. If you're not using the belt, then hold the outside of the foot. and drawing that leg across the body. Coming back to the centre, swapping hands once more, and releasing the foot down to the floor. Fantastic, good balancing. Take your hands to your hips. We're going to come into Uttanasana. Soften the knees and take the hips back in space. I'll come to the side so you can see. So bending the knees, take the hips back in space, your hands are on your hips. You want to keep the front of the body long. So keep this lift in the upper chest all the time. Think about maximum length in your torso as you take the hips back in space, folding over from the hips until your body can lay down on your thighs and you can release the hands. The hands can come to the floor, they can come to your shins, they can come to your knees, or you can place them on blocks or books in front of you. Wherever they come to is absolutely fine. Good. So first of all, let's just take a wriggle here, bending one knee and then the other. And we're going to take that into a little bit more of a stretch. So bend the right knee, straighten the left leg, and take the left hand forward and reach onto the tips of your fingers as far forward as you can reach, but the right hip, both hips staying back. And then your right hand pass through the gap and place on the floor as far forward as you can reach. So the left hand is reaching in front of you, the right hand is reaching out to the side. And feeling that stretch up the side of the body and perhaps down the back of the leg. Place the hands either side of the feet. This time bend the left leg, straighten the right leg. Reach the right hand as far forward as you can onto the tips of your fingers. And the left hand reaches under the gap onto the floor out to your side. Allow your head just to rest naturally where it wants to go. Good. Releasing both hands back towards your feet. Bend both knees equally. Take your tailbone up to the sky. Place the hands either side of the toes, slightly ahead of the toes, either on blocks or on the floor. The neck is released and relaxed. Keeping that contact between the chest and the thighs, slowly begin to lift the tailbone up to the sky. So we're beginning to straighten the legs, but it doesn't matter if they become straight. What we're aiming for is this stretch down the hamstrings. Good. We're going to do something slightly different here. So I'd like you to take hold with your right hand, take hold around the back of your right ankle. Take your left hand out to the side on fingertips. Draw your face into your right shin. And release the left foot behind you by bending the knee and then beginning to straighten that leg all the way up to the ceiling, coming into a standing splits posture. Use the hand around your right ankle to draw you deeper into the posture and pause. Then bending that left knee, taking the left foot back onto the floor. Holding the left ankle with your left hand, take the right hand out to the side on your fingertips. Draw your body into your left leg. So your face, your nose is coming towards your shin. Release that right leg behind, bend the knee, and then extend the leg up to the ceiling. Keep drawing in with that left hand. And pausing here, taking a few breaths, bending that left knee, that right knee, and drawing the feet back together. And then relaxing into your forward fold, Uttanasana, perhaps holding around both ankles, drawing the chest in towards the thighs, chin tucking in, tailbone lifting up. Good. And then softening both knees. Taking your hands to your hips, leading with the chest as you breathe in and slowly coming back into your standing position.
Okay. So the next posture is Utkatasana, mighty pose, and we're going to have a twist when we get there. For Utkatasana, it's a good idea to have your knees and ankles together so that when you bend your knees, the knees can rest together. And I'd like you to watch out for, when we come into the twist, watch out for this happening. So one knee goes in front of the other, and that suggests that the hips are moving. When we come into the twist, keep your knees glued together, and that will indicate that your hips are level and the twist is happening in the torso where we want it to happen. Good. So taking your hands to your hips, softening your knees, the hips go back in space, and we keep the chest lifted. Keep softening the knees, keep taking the hips back in space, keep lifting the chest. Take your shoulder blades behind your back, squeeze them together. Feel that you're rolling the shoulders back and down, and then float the hands up to the ceiling. Draw your hands together into prayer position. Keep bending the knees, keep lifting the thumb. The gaze can be towards your thumbs. And breathe. Now bending both elbows, hands still in prayer position. Take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. So to do that, you need to take a twist. Plant your elbow just on the outside of your knee, and then push down with the top hand, and that will help draw you into the twist. If your elbow doesn't reach, place the lower arm and open into the twist that way. Otherwise, if you've got your hands still in prayer position, keep pushing down with that top hand, drawing yourself deep into the twist. Keep your knees deeply bent. If all's well, you can reach down to the floor with one hand, up to the ceiling with the other. Then bring the hands back to prayer position. Breathing in, Utkatasana, keep the knees bent. And breathing out, go to the other side. So, left elbow to the outside of the right knee, pushing down with the top hand to draw you into the twist. It's fine to have a wriggle so that you get good contact between the outer arm, the elbow and the leg. Once you've established the twist, open up your hands if you want to. One hand to the floor, one hand to the ceiling. Hands back to prayer position, Utkatasana, just one breath here. And breathing out, allow the legs to straighten, have a wriggle in the hips, if that feels good. Release the neck, soften the knees once more, take the hands to the hips, breathing in and coming up. So stepping to one end of your mat, we're going to come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So taking your left foot behind you, take a good stride. We want the right foot to be toes pointing along the mat and the heel of the back foot angled in at about 45 degrees. Allow the hips to open, and you want the chest and the shoulders to be in line with the long edge of your mat. Breathing in, lift the hands up, extend through the fingertips. And as you breathe out, stretch away into the right hand. You can have a bit of softness in this front knee, especially if your knees tend to lock out. Stretching away, and then when you finish stretching, taking the hand down to wherever it reaches. It might reach the thigh, the shin, the ankle, the floor. Once you're here, start to straighten that leg. If you did bend it, open the chest. So one shoulder begins to stack above the other, and the top hand floats up to the ceiling. Gaze towards the thumb of the top hand. And breathe here. Be aware of your breath. And to come out, we're going to have a slight softening in that front knee. Push through that foot. Nice big in-breath to draw the body up. And then adjust the feet and go to the other side. So we want the heel of the right leg to be at an angle and the toes of the left leg to be pointing straight along your mat. Allow the hips to adjust so that the chest and the shoulders can be along the long edge of the mat, and extend the arms away. Breathing in here and breathing out, begin to reach into that left hand. As you reach, the hips are going to want to swivel round, and that's absolutely fine. Just allow them to swivel so that front knee stays pointing forward. When you've run out of space, come down either to the floor, to the shin, to the thigh, wherever you reach. Opening up the shoulders, top hand, fingertips extending to the sky. Once you're here, you can begin to open up in the hips again. So to come down, we allowed that right hip to swing down. Once you're in the position, you can begin to actively lift that hip back up to the ceiling, as long as your back knee is comfortable. And breathing here. When you're ready to come up, a slight softening in that front knee, coming out the way you came in, reaching up, breathing in, realigning the feet and stepping back to the fronts of your mats. Good. So we're going to come into crescent lunge pose and Anjaneyasana. So from the front of your mat or from the end of your mat, breathing in, lift the arms up to the ceiling, and breathing out, coming down into your forward fold. Breathing in, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and breathing out, stepping back with your right foot only. So the left foot's going to stay forward, the right foot has come back into a deep lunge. Just take an adjustment here so that your ankle is directly underneath your knee, and then allow your back knee to drop down towards the floor. One hand either side of that front foot. We're going to keep the body laying down on the thigh for a moment, and then begin to move that front knee forward. It's really just a thought, probably nothing physical to observe, although it feels physical for me. We're moving the left knee forward and we're encouraging the right knee back. So from here, just hover the back knee off the floor. And hold. Thinking about that back knee going backwards towards the foot. Just a couple of centimetres perhaps, and then place it back down on the floor. Keep that front knee moving forward. You can untuck the toes of the back foot, and then bring the hands to the knee. Always moving that front knee forward, feeling this nice stretch in the opposite hip flexor. I'd like you to be cautious of any discomfort in your lumbar spine. If you do feel any pinching, then fold back down towards your leg, tuck your tailbone under, and then think about lifting with the chest and not the lumbar spine. If all's well, the hands are on the knee and we're beginning to lift the upper chest. And I'd like you to have this feeling of everything above the waist lengthening upwards, everything below the waist stabilising downwards. Each time you breathe in, lift with the upper chest. Each time you breathe out, roll the shoulders back and down. Breathing in a lift, and breathing out, roll the shoulders back and down. And then we're going to float the hands up to the sky, extending through the fingertips, gaze towards the thumbs if that's okay in the neck. And then take the hands back down to the knee, down to the floor, either side of the foot. Tuck the back toes under, push into that foot to lift the back knee, push into the hands, coming back into downward facing dog. Good. And then from here we're going to step the right foot forward now. Place it in between your hands and allow the left knee to come down to the floor. Good. So for the first few breaths we're going to pause here with the hands on the floor or on blocks either side of your foot, encouraging that front knee forward. Once again, you may not see any outward movement, but you should be able to feel internally. Half of that back knee from the floor, just an inch, and hold. And then take it back just an inch, keeping that front knee moving forward, but moving that back knee just an inch back, and then place it on the floor. Untuck the toes of the back foot. And then we're going to place the hands onto the knee. We want to maintain both shoulders facing forwards. Each time you breathe in, lift with the upper chest. Each time you breathe out, feel all of that stabilisation happening from the waist down. We're strong in the standing foot, and we're pushing back into the back leg. Each time you breathe in, lift, create length in the front of the body. Each time you breathe out, take the shoulders back and down. So take at least 4 or 5 breaths, just getting this positioning, breathing in, lengthening, breathing out, rolling the shoulders back and down. All the time moving that front knee forwards. And then when you feel ready, gaze up towards the ceiling, float the hands up, gaze towards the thumbs. Breathe into the fingers and breathe out, perhaps move the thumbs back in space. And then take the hands back to the knee, back to the floor, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, lift the hips, and stepping back into downward facing dog. Just walk the dog for a few breaths. We're going to do that once more. It's fine to repeat that version we've just done, otherwise we're going to have a go at lifting that back knee. So once more, stepping the left foot in between your hands. Allow the back knee to come down, untucking the toes to start with. Finding that position. So taking the knee over the front ankle and lifting the hands onto the knee. Keep encouraging that front knee forwards. Now tuck the back toes under. Place the hands onto the hips, lifting up through the front of the body, rolling the shoulders back and down. Once more, it's good to take a few breaths here to get the right position. The way we avoid this pinching, any pinching in the lumbar spine, is to create length in the body. Create that separation between the vertebrae. Roll the shoulders back and down. So the hands are still on the hips. So without too much movement, keep the hips as low as they are. Keep the front knee where it is. Keep the torso where it is. We're tucking the back toes under and pushing through the back heel. And the consequence is that back knee lifts. If that feels okay, float the hands up to the sky, look up towards the thumbs, and breathe. When you're ready to come down, float the hands back to the hips. Gently place that knee down on the floor, untuck the toes, take the hands either side of the foot, and then stepping back into downward facing dog, and step the right foot forward. Take the back knee down, untuck the toes to start with, get your positioning right so the knee's over the ankle, take the hands to the knee, and then we're going to tuck the toes. Tuck the back toes under, take your hands to your hips, sinking down with the perineum down to the floor. Everything staying steady and stable, pelvis staying low as you push into that back heel and allow the back knee to lift. Lift up with the upper chest, roll the shoulders back and down, floating the hands to the sky, look up if that's okay in your neck. Breathing in, lengthen into your fingers, breathing out, take your arms back in space, lifting the upper chest to the sky. And then allow your hands to come to your hips, take the knee to the floor, untuck the toes, hands to the floor. Good. Stepping back into downward facing dog, and take a breather here. So walking the dog if that feels nice. Good. Coming up high onto your toes, take your knees to the floor, untuck your toes and sit back on your heels. Good. So we're going to come into halasana, plough pose. So as usual, we're going to warm up in the neck before we do so, and the shoulders. So keeping the upper chest lifted, keeping the shoulders neutral and relaxed. Lift the upper chest and then allow the chin to come down towards the chest. Avoid any temptation to round and sink down. Upper chest stays lifted, shoulders away from the ears, simply taking the chin towards the chest. Place the tips of your fingers onto the back of the head and then very gentle pressure down with the fingertips to extend that stretch in the back of the neck. And then begin to push back with the head. So fingertips pushing down, head pushing up. And then release the pushing up with the head and allow the fingers to gently draw the head down a little bit deeper into the stretch. Release the fingers down to your sides and allow the head to float up. Good. Now take the backs of the fingers to the back of the head once more. Lifting the upper chest, and we're going to allow the head to rest back into our fingers. So taking the head back, supporting the weight of the head with your fingers, beginning to generate a stretch in the front of your throat. And when you're ready to come up, lifting with the fingertips, releasing your hands, and then taking your left ear to your left shoulder. Right shoulder staying down and relaxed. Lift the head and take the right ear to the right shoulder, left shoulder staying down and relaxed. Notice any tendency for the head to flop back or forwards, and keep it level. Lift the head up. And then we're going to turn the face so the chin goes over the shoulder. I've gone to the right, but as long as you do both sides, it's fine. And then turning the head around, so the chin goes over the opposite shoulder. Once more, keeping both shoulders down and relaxed away from the ears. And then turn to face front. Good. I'm going to just work through some shoulder warm-ups now. So take hold of your belts once more and take your hands a good distance apart on the belt. So we want to maintain a tautness in the belt. If you feel the belt going slack, then keep pulling away. And with that tautness in the belt, lifting the arms up, keeping both arms straight and taking them overhead as far as you can. It's fine to drop the chin down towards the chest. And if the arms get all the way over, that's great. If they don't quite go all the way over, just take the hands a little bit further apart. Keep the lower ribs tucked in as you return the arms overhead. Once again, pulling on the belt so it remains taut, coming to that position where there's a little bit of resistance in the shoulders, And just taking the shoulders backwards and forwards there. Keeping the lower ribs tucked in, the abdomen engaged, and perhaps taking the arms all the way over. Breathing in, drawing them back overhead again. Good, releasing the belt. Taking the arms out in front of you, dropping the thumbs down so the palms of the hands face out. Swim the arms all the way around behind you and interlace the fingers behind your back. If you can't reach the fingers, take hold of the belt and hold the belt. And then we want to shrug the shoulders down, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind your back. Straighten the arms, so the fingers are interlaced, the arms are straight, the shoulder blades are squeezing together. It's fine to stay here. If you can, then perhaps keeping the arms straight, begin to lift the arms away from your back. So the little fingers are moving up towards the ceiling. Dropping the head down towards the chest and keeping the shoulders lifting up behind you. And then lower the hands down, back towards your hips, releasing the hands, giving the arms a shake out. Good. So coming into a lying down position, and I'd like you to come into a position so that your feet can touch the wall when we take them overhead. So you may need to have a bit of a play around with that position, so it's fine just to come out and come back in anytime you need to. So you want to have your head a little bit away from the wall so that you don't hit the wall too quickly with your feet. And first of all, we're going to work with abdominal control so that we're not going to fling ourselves onto our tops of our shoulders or our neck. We're going to come up with control. So take your hands down to your sides. First thing you want to do is to get rid of this natural arch that you have in your lumbar spine. So draw your belly in, push the lower back down to the floor, and the effect of that is the pelvis rotates a little bit, and that's fine. Push the lower back down, rotate the pelvis, draw the belly in. Hands are down by your sides, okay? Just holding this is quite a good strengthener. If you want to come further, then lift your knees up to the chest. Keep that lower spine pushing into the floor, and then see how far up you can lift your knees to your chest, and hold. So your hips can come off the floor. We're encouraging as much of the hips and the lower back off the floor as you can, squeezing the knees into the chest and slowly releasing down. Okay, we're going to repeat that, but we're going to come up a little higher. So draw the knees in, the hands are down, so the arms are down by your sides, your hands are placed down so that you can use your hands for a little bit of support. Draw your knees into your chest and then lift the toes and push through the hands to lift up and pause. Okay, so you can do that a few times. If you do nothing else towards plough tonight, then that exercise is really beneficial. So the next stage, push the lumbar spine into the mat. Draw the knees in towards your chest, the hands are down by your sides. Squeeze the knees into your chest, high into your chin, uncurl the toes, and then look towards the wall and place your feet on the wall. Okay? As soon as your feet come onto the wall, the posture becomes a bit more stable, so you can lift your hands and place them onto your hips. And with your hands under your hips, you can begin to walk the shoulders, making sure the back of the neck is still long. Okay, and perhaps just stay here. You can have a play here, walk the feet up and down the wall. Just making yourselves comfortable here. So there's not too much flexion on the neck here. I haven't come up very high at all. I'm just becoming familiar with this sensation. Now release the hands to the floor and see how slowly you can come back down. Good. So the closer you are, The further away from the wall you are, the higher up your hips will need to come to reach the wall. So as you can see, I wasn't that far away, so I didn't come up very high. So if I'm comfortable there, I can come a little bit further away from the wall and repeat the same exercise. Rolling up with the knees in control, push through the hands and extend the feet over to the wall. So I'm a little bit higher up now. I can place my hands on my hips, squeeze my elbows towards each other, lift up onto the top of my shoulders. You can hear my voice change as my chest begins to push into my throat. And that's absolutely fine, I can still breathe. And then you can walk your feet down the wall and perhaps they reach the floor. If they do, tuck your toes under. Take your hands as high up the back as you can to lift your tailbone to the sky and activate your legs. And pause and breathe here. Come out, you can walk back up the wall, or you can bend the knees in towards the ears, take the hands back down your hips, release them to the floor, and very slowly roll your spine back down the mat. Toes touch down, and then we're going to take a little counter pose, so we're going to allow the front of the throat to open. So you can cross your ankles and allow your knees to come out to the side. So we're in a laying down, easy pose with the legs crossed, the ankles crossed. Keep your elbows nice and close towards you and then lift with the upper chest. See if you can lift high enough to bring the crown of the head on the floor. Always lifting through the upper chest, the work's going on in the back of the body, allowing the throat to relax. Then lift the crown of the head away from the floor and place the body back down. If that lift in the back doesn't work for you yet, then you can come into a sitting position with your feet on the floor. Take your hands back behind you, lift your upper chest and take the chin up towards the ceiling. It's this lift in the upper chest and that opening in the throat that's important. And take the chin back in towards your chest. And then we're going to have a lay down. Coming into our supine twists, Jatara Pavriti. So have a lie down on your back, so you want your knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor, and take your arms out to shoulder height and adjust yourself so you're comfortable here. We're going to start with the knees and ankles apart, and as we breathe out, take the knees down to the right, the head gently turns to the left. As you breathe in, draw the knees back up, and as you breathe out, go to the other side. So the knees go to the left, the head turns to the right. Continue to flow like that on your own breath. So as you breathe in, the head and the knees come up, and as you breathe out, they go down to opposite sides. So swaying to the rhythm of your breath. And the next time your knees are down to the right and you're facing your left hand, pause here. You can keep the knees and ankles apart if that feels good, or you can draw the top knee, the top ankle over the bottom one. Just the shoulders so that feels comfortable, and hold here. If you want to draw the knees in and up towards the elbow or the armpit, then please do. It's also fine to hold the knees down with that right arm if that feels good and gives you a nice relaxed twist. Good. And the next in-breath, we're going to draw the knees up to the centre, place the feet back down on the mat. Knees and ankles are hip distance apart, take the knees down to the left, head turns towards the right, and pause here and breathe. If you want to draw one ankle on top of the other, one knee on top of the other, that's great, go ahead. Take a few breaths in this new position to allow the body to relax into it. It's also fine to draw the knees up towards the elbow or the armpit. Noting that each time you make these adjustments, the twist becomes a little deeper. Squeeze the knees together, drawing in the abdominals as you lift the knees up to the chest. Take the hands around the knees and draw the knees into the chest. Perhaps draw the head up towards the knees. And then relaxing down, allowing the head to come down, the feet touch down, extending the legs away along the mat. Coming into Savasana. If you would like to pause and get your blankets or any other props that you feel you would need for your Shavasana, then please do. Just pause the video, and when you're ready and you have your blankets near you, restart. Otherwise, coming into Shavasana.
So gathering anything you need for your relaxation around you, any blankets you need or blocks to support your head, and then bringing yourselves into a comfortable lying down position, coming into Shavasana. Know that although I'll guide you through Shavasana, the classic posture for relaxation in yoga, any other posture that you find that you're able to relax better, then please feel free to move. Adjust in any way that you need to. Know that the more comfortable you are, the easier you'll find it to relax completely. So take a moment to adjust the tailbone, so tucking the tailbone under, feeling the lower back coming a little closer to the floor as you lengthen out the lower spine. Adjust the shoulder blades. So lifting the chest a little, moving the shoulder blades back and down away from the ears, and then allowing the chest to rest down so that the flat part of the shoulder blades is comfortable against the mat. The arms a comfortable distance from your sides. Have a feeling of space in the back of the neck, so just moving the crown of the head gently away from the shoulders, perhaps tucking the chin into the throat a little. Your eyes are gently closed. Take a few moments just to ease out in any way that you feel you need to be completely comfortable. And then allow yourself to settle into this comfortable position, giving yourself some time to be still. Have a feeling of balance in the body. So your legs an equal distance from the centre of your mat. Your arms an equal distance from the sides of the body. And your head evenly, comfortably supported at the top of the neck in the centre of the mat. Allow the arms to rotate outwards so that the palms turn to face the ceiling. Fingertips relaxed, curling naturally just as they would in sleep. And now perhaps take a couple of deeper, longer breaths, allowing anything to let go that needs to let go. And then when you've done that, allow the breath to settle, breathing in and out through the nose. Using your out-breath to relax and to quieten your body. Know that any noises that you hear are just part of your practice, part of you being in this place of stillness. So you can acknowledge those noises and let them go. Allow your mind to come back to your breath and feel at one with your surroundings. Listening to your breath as it enters and leaves your body. And as your breathing begins to settle, the breath will relax, the abdomen relaxed, and breathing becomes effortless. Enjoy the feeling of consciously doing nothing. Give yourself this time to be still. This posture of savasana is a posture of relaxation, a time for your body to recover from the activities of the day, the activities of your posture work. So your head resting on the floor, your eyes gently closed. Feel your shoulder blades relax into the mat. Your arms, your hands resting heavily on the floor. Be aware of the spine as it settles down towards the floor, allowing the muscles of your back to release so your back begins to flatten, becoming one with the mat. Imagine your hips sinking into the floor and relaxing, opening, releasing the thigh muscles so they too can relax. Your legs become heavy as they begin to rotate outwards. All the way down the back of your legs, feeling heavy, sinking into the mat. Become aware of the heels in contact with the mat, allowing your feet to fall out to the side as gravity takes over. The whole body heavy, relaxed, and the whole of the back of your body as one with the floor. And just allow this to happen. Beginning now to become aware of your breath, breathing in and breathing out gently through the nose. A natural breath. And imagine as you breathe in, your awareness starts from your feet, and you follow as the awareness moves up your body as you inhale until it reaches the head. And as you breathe out from the top of your head back down towards your feet. Draw the mind into the body and feel the sensations of the breath as it enters and leaves the body. Continue slowly breathing in this way, the in-breath flowing from your feet to your head, and the out-breath from your head to your feet. Feeling safe, feeling secure, allowing your body and your mind time to enjoy this relaxation. Take some time now to appreciate these feelings, being aware of your relaxed state, calm sensations of your body and mind. Keeping your eyes closed, and keep this feeling of relaxation as you begin to become aware of yourself, your body, lying on your mat, and noticing once again where your body touches the mat. The heels, the backs of the legs, the entire back of the body, arms and head, fully supported and completely comfortable. Beginning to notice again the sensations of your breath. Perhaps you can feel the breath at the tip of the nose. You may be able to hear the breath as it enters and leaves the body. Noticing any movements in the body, perhaps a gentle rising and falling with each breath. And picture in your mind and remember how peaceful and relaxed you're feeling now. And know that these feelings will stay with you. And you can return to them whenever you like. So being aware of the breath now at the tip of the nose. And then become aware of the breath at the bottom of the lungs. And expanding the breath in between those two places, from the tip of the nose to the bottom of the lungs.
Beginning to deepen the breath and really appreciate the feelings that the in-breath brings you. Feelings of renewed energy, renewed vitality. So breathing in and taking that breath all the way down to the tips of your fingers, to the tips of your toes. And perhaps feeling some tingling in the palms of your hands as you begin to re-energize the body. Being aware of the body in contact with the mat, the floor supporting you. And as you take a couple more deeper, longer breaths, perhaps using the mat beneath you to make some small movements. So fingers, toes. Perhaps stretching the arms, the legs, taking that awakening through the body nice and slowly. And taking a stretch in any way that feels good for you. Know that as you're at home, if you're comfortable and you're happy to stay here, enjoying your relaxation, then please feel free. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, taking a good stretch, perhaps drawing the knees up onto the chest, moving the head from side to side, whatever feels right for you in your own time, nice and slowly. Just use the mat beneath you to move backwards and forwards on your spine. Perhaps rolling over onto your sides when you're ready to come up. Nice and slowly take a couple of deep breaths here. Whenever you're ready, coming up into a comfortable seated position. Gently drawing your practice to a close, taking your hands to prayer position at the heart center. Namaste.